If you want to go inside the White House, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. Hello, my name is Rob. I'm a tour guide and the founder of Trip Hacks DC Tours. On this channel, I'm here to share my best tips, tricks, and hacks for exploring the nation's capital. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything in the future. This is an update to a video I made a couple years ago on this topic. A few things have changed, and I also didn't include a few important details in that original video. And I want to make sure that you always have the best, most up-to-date information. So even if you're a longtime subscriber to the Trip Hacks DC YouTube channel, make sure to stick around to the end of the video so you make sure you get all the updates. And if you have ever been inside the White House before, leave a comment on this video and let everyone know how you thought it compared to the other things we have to see and do here in DC. Otherwise, let's get started. The most important thing to understand about the public tour of the White House is that it does not give you access to the entire building. Once you clear security, more on that in a bit, you will enter through the East Wing, down a hallway where you will see framed photos from first families, past and present. After that, you'll get to check out some of the ground floor rooms. These include the library, the China Room, the Map Room, and the Vermeil Room. You can peek your head in and snap a quick photo, but you cannot enter. These rooms do have some important and historical things that they want to make sure are safe. After that, you'll go upstairs where you can walk through the rooms on the state floor. First is the East Room, which is the largest room in the White House. It's used for receptions, ceremonies, and has been the site of several weddings. Next is the Green Room, which is a parlor often used to serve cocktails during a reception. After that is the Blue Room, the room where the President and First Lady will often receive guests who they have visiting. It's also where the White House Christmas tree is set up if you visit during the holiday season. Then you'll go through the Red Room, which is another small parlor, but a favorite among many former First Ladies. Finally, you'll see the State Dining Room, which can seat up to 130 guests, but is often set up in a smaller configuration when they're open to the public. And after that, you'll walk down Cross Hall, a long hallway that runs from the State Dining Room to the East Room. And then you'll exit out on the north side of the building. So that's kind of cool, but obviously did not include some important spaces. The Oval Office is obviously the most famous room in the White House. It, along with the Situation Room, the Roosevelt Room, the Press Briefing Room, and others in the West Wing are not included on this tour. Yes, it is possible to tour the West Wing, but the process is a little different. I am lucky enough to have done this, so here is what I can tell you. When you go, you do get to peek your head inside the Oval Office, but you do not get to enter. You don't get to go to the Situation Room at all, at least they didn't let me in, but you do get to go inside the Roosevelt Room, named after former President Roosevelt's. And honestly, to me, as a history buff, this was one of the coolest parts of the experience. The second and third floors of the White House are sometimes called the First Family's private residence, because it's actually the place where they reside. You can only see this part of the building if you are officially invited by a member of the First Family. I have never done this and probably never will during my lifetime. And lastly, I'm leaving out a whole bunch of other rooms, but if you're curious about this topic, I'm going to link to a video down in the description. It was created by an architect who does 3D renderings, and it is very cool. Okay, so now that you know what you can and can't see, here's how you can actually go. You will need to do some advanced planning. They start taking reservations 3 months in advance, and the closer you can get to that 3 months, the better your chance of actually getting a reservation. If you are an American, you can make your request through your member of Congress's office. I have a video showing this process step by step, so make sure to check out the description to find that video so you know exactly what to do. If you are visiting from another country, then you have a few options. The White House's official website advises international visitors to contact their country's embassy here in Washington, D.C. and request a tour on their behalf. However, not all embassies offer this service. Countries that have a lot of visitors to Washington, D.C., like Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, all have language on their embassy website that specifically says not to contact them about White House tours, because they won't do it. If you are visiting Washington, D.C. with an American, you can ask them to add you onto their tour request that they submit to their member of Congress, as long as they plan to tour the White House along with you. I cannot make any of these requests on your behalf. Sorry. Anecdotally, I can say that last year, a lot of my tour customers told me that they were not able to get a White House reservation. This was especially true in the busy spring and summer months, because there were just way more people who want to do this than they have space available to accommodate. So if you try and get denied, don't feel bad. It happens to a lot of people. All right, so say you were successful, you have your reservation. Now, these are some very important things you need to know for the day of your visit. First, you need to review your confirmation email and paperwork very carefully. It will tell you exactly what you are and are not allowed to bring with you. After all the work you do to set up this tour, the last thing you want is to get turned away on the spot because you brought something that was on the prohibited list. Backpacks, purses, and a whole bunch of other stuff are all on that list. So what you need to do is leave your stuff back at your hotel, do your White House tour, and then go back and retrieve it later. But if you're thinking, hey Rob, wait, I'm staying way out in the suburbs and planning to metro in for a day of exploring. What am I supposed to do? Well, you're gonna have to do your day of exploring without your backpack, purse, or anything else on that list. This is one of the many reasons why I advise, if you can, try to pick a hotel downtown. Make sure you bring photo ID for the security check, and expect to spend a lot of time going through those security checks. Depending on whether you got one of the earlier reservations or later reservations, I would say plan to spend 30 to 60 minutes before you get inside the building. Make sure you use the restroom before you get in line. There are 0 public restrooms inside the White House. If you have a restroom emergency, you will have to leave the White House grounds, then come back and start the whole security process over. There is a restroom in the White House Visitor Center, across the street on 15th and Pennsylvania Avenues Northwest. This is the most convenient and practical option for most people. And my last tip is, if you have any questions while you're inside, just ask. Secret Service who work during visiting hours go through a special training and try to be as helpful as they can. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, then I highly recommend another Trip Hacks DC video. So go ahead and click or tap right over here to watch the next one. And if you're coming to Washington, DC and you're interested in signing up for a Trip Hacks DC guided tour, you can click on the Capitol Dome on the left side of my head. That'll send you right over to triphacksdc.com, where you can see all of the tours that we offer. Enjoy your trip.